Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, and welcome to the Amateur Otaku Podcast. How is everybody doing out there? I am Brandon Alvarado, the Scarlet Fan here, and I'm so excited to be back with the Amateur Otaku crew to talk awesome anime and colossal, armored, founding anime, which is the amazing Attack on Titan. Yes, Attack on Titan is back. I am so excited to talk about this show. I love this show. I love this story. And I actually love the ending. Yes, haters, bring it. But of course, we're not going to talk about the ending today because the show's not over. Yeah, I read the manga. I know I'm horrible. But I love Attack on Titan. It's one of the first shows that we covered during the first couple of episodes of Amateur Otaku, and we're still alive and rolling with an awesome crew as the show and the crew keeps expanding. But now, today, the founding fathers of the Attack on Titan of the Attack on Titan of the Amateur Otaku crew are back to talk Attack on Titan final season part 2. I don't know what I'm saying, so I think it's about time I bring Isaac. Isaac, I'm excited. Help me.
When do you know what you're talking about?
I never. I'm just so excited. I mean, um, we're back. The Amateur Taku. I love recording. I feel I haven't recorded in like 5 years. I mean,
That sounds about right.
I feel I haven't recorded for as long as I felt that I waited for part 2 of Attack on Titan season 2 to come out. Because I got to be honest. I mean, even though this is part 2 of season 4, they treated it like, hey guys, you guys are gonna wait a whole year before you next get the next part of the season. Why didn't they just call it season 5? Because we waited
Eh,
a whole year.
that's
I
a
don't,
good point, actually.
yeah, but I think for some reason I have a feeling that it's like a contract thing. Like for some reason they were able to sell this to Mappa and say, "Hey guys, you guys only get one season out of this, and you got to do the whole thing." Okay, so why don't we, instead of doing season 4 and 5, since we're only allowed to do season 4, let's just divide it in two parts, and I don't know, let's give ourselves 2 years to make this. But
I mean,
I don't care.
rather having them taking 2 years of making this and giving their work animators some time to breathe and
True,
just
true.
force it out.
Yeah,
I'd much rather having that.
yeah. And actually, I think we're seeing the fruits of it because, oh my God, it's been so great. I mean, a lot of people were worried when Studio Wit when Studio Wit went away because they made 3 remarkable seasons. I
Do
mean, a
we
lot of
know
people have.
why they lost? Do we know why they lost slash sold off?
I don't know. I have a feeling that just got. I wouldn't be surprised if they were so busy with so much other stuff that they gave it to a new studio. But not only that, the track record that Mappa has gathered in the last 10 years, I think it's amazing. You know what I mean? Some of the biggest animes on the map right now are produced by Mappa.
Yeah.
So it's a big thing. Like, I mean, they doing Jujutsu Kaisen. What else are they doing? I know they're doing other stuff back from Attack on Titan. I know they're doing Jujutsu Kaisen, Attack on Titan. What else? Let me look it up because I know they're doing a couple of things. I think they're also doing Chainsaw Man. I think that's Mappa
I
too.
believe so, yeah.
And Chainsaw
I,
Man is like one of the big horror shows of the moment. So they're doing a lot of stuff. So let's see. They're doing. Let me see. I mean, they have a lot of stuff under their belt too. So Dororo, Dorohedoro, which I think that's the one on Netflix, right? They did God of High School, which was
yeah.
like a huge hit back in 2020. Um, I mean, they're doing a lot.
Yuri
Yeah,
on
they're doing.
Ice.
Uh,
Yuri and Ice they did all of the. I don't. I think that have ended, right?
they did Kakeguri for Netflix as
Yeah.
well. Rage of Bahamut, which is also a big one. I mean, they've done a lot of great stuff. So I'm not surprised that they're doing Attack on Titan, and not only that, they're actually doing a beautiful job with the animation. So I'm really happy that even though it's somebody else is doing it and not Wit, I'm glad that they're bringing Isayama's vision to this awesome thing. Um, But before we jump in and talk about the things, hey guys, we're the Amateur Talker Podcast. Thank you for joining us. Um, I think I should have said this in the beginning, but I just got so excited. Um, we talk awesome anime and manga. Whenever we have the chance, we cover a lot of things. We're a great crew of four people. We got Leo Rydell, our friend from Geekly Goods. We have the Nova Cinephile, Michael Thomas himself, also covering shows with us, and of course Isaac and myself. And we talk about great things: My Hero Academia, um, Demon Slayer, Made in Abyss. We talk of any anime that we believe is awesome, and we want to share with all you guys and give our thoughts and ideas about it. And of course, now we're back talking Attack on Titan. I think we've covered all of Attack on Titan, right? Like we've done the first two seasons, we've done season three, and we did cover season four when it started, episode by episode.
Yeah.
Last year. So we're really excited to come back and do this again. We will be covering this show weekly. Last week, Michael Thomas and Isaac did a great cover of season of the first episode, Judgment. And today we're back to talk about episode 77 of Attack on Titan, which is a sneak attack. If you love what we do here at the Amateur Talker Podcast, make sure to follow us on Twitter at Amateur Talker Pod. As you can see on the screen, you can also go to YouTube and follow our YouTube channel so you don't miss any live streams and you don't miss any special episode recordings of movies or other random anime that we find. So make sure you click on that like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell for notifications so you do not miss any great episodes. The Amateur Talker Podcast is also found wherever podcasts are found: Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, everywhere. So make sure you can find it there. But I think we should jump right into it. We're going to talk about Attack on Titan episode 77, Sneak Attack. And I mean, I think it's safe to say from the beginning, hey guys, spoilers, because it's Attack on Titan final season. So we're going to talk spoilers. Of course, we're not going to talk about anything beyond this episode. We're going to try and keep it there because, in comparison to, I don't know, most people watching the show, Isaac and I have read the manga, so we know where the story is going. But at the same time, I want to start with this. Isaac, I think we've seen it. I don't remember where I read it or where I heard it, but Isayama has said that in spite of the ending that he did, despite of the writing of the manga, he wants the anime to be his magnum opus or his grand vision for what he always thought Attack on Titan was going to be, right? So like,
Yeah.
so for him, the manga is not the final product. The final is just the roadmap. He wants the anime to be the final product of what Attack on Titan is. And this particular episode kind of made me think about that because is it just me or are all the battle scenes severely expanded from what you see in the book?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, going back to season one, I mean, they like to expand it overall. You know, the whole them training to becoming scouts. That's
right,
not in the manga.
correct.
So this is
You're right.
nothing new that they are expanding upon the whole scenario. And
Yeah,
I feel it just with a manga, it's you have to be. I don't say that you need to be two panels and then it's done, but you can be a much more fast paced with battles
yeah,
in comparison to anime. So it makes
right.
sense why it feels more getting the more oomph or
Yes,
what
yes.
what word you would like to use for it
Yeah,
all.
yeah, and I think you mostly see it. To me, what drew my attention was there's a lot more scenes where you capture the human aspect of the war battles. Like there's a lot more shooting and people dying because of the guns and people and like some of the Jaegerists fighting against the Marleyan army. Like you see a lot of more little snippets of that. And like I thought that I was going to see more of a lot more details of the Titan battles, which of course we get a lot more of that because we know that from last episode and also going into this one, Eren and um, Eren, the Attack Titan, is actually fighting right now Reiner armored and Galliard Claw Titan. So he's fighting against two Titans right now. And the bonus that we get, which I know we saw a little bit of the manga, but I love the fact that they make it like a big deal. Is like when Eren starts using the Warhammer powers, that was like crazy. Like whenever you and I like the fact that they did it where you can see the shining of his eyes whenever he's activating that power. I like that it's very like I don't know. It makes it feel like a living, breathing thing. And I like that even though I don't know if you noticed, this is one of those episodes where you rarely see Eren. Like you see the Attack Titan and everything he's doing, but you really don't see Eren that much. But every time you see Reiner like inside the Titan. Like they're not really showing us Eren a lot. So it makes you want to think like, is his body hidden somewhere? Like did he really listen to Yelena and hide the body with the Warhammer power? And like every time he taps into the Warhammer power, his eyes shine green and something happens. And I like those little touches that, of course, in manga, because you don't have all those shades of color or even maybe space to put all those little details. I like that they're paying a lot of attention to a lot of those little niches. Like I would even say there's a lot of nuance that they're putting in the anime that I really like. Is very nuanced. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think I like that a lot because um, I'm gonna let you talk. I promise. like like
It's
one
okay.
one of the biggest things that I love about so far is the opening of season two of part two. How it is a huge contrast with the opening of season one because of part one. Damn it, it's part one, part two. Damn it. Um, so the opening of part one is all about the threat of war or like the dangers of war or the fear of war, right? Is the idea that war is coming and like war is a place where nobody wins. You know what I mean? And of course, you got the whole opening and like I don't know if you know this, but technically the chorus of that song is in Spanish. And what they're screaming is La vida sola la vivirás, which means the life, your life, or the life. You are going to live your life on your own. Like you don't live your life with other people. Like your life is what it's going to be, but it's your own. So if you lose your life, it's it. You're not losing everybody else's. Or the idea that you're dragging people to lose their lives when technically you should only be in charge of your own. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that makes you think when you go into war, you're pulling someone else's life into danger, not just your own. And the idea that, of course, how that opening ends with that wooden rock, with that like Greek um Greek statue figure of the Attack Titan, of course, literally saying that this whole threat of war is being brought by Eren, right? That's the entire purpose of that opening. So, and now the opening of part two, what do we start with? With Eren putting his suit on and getting and walking. And like I like how it starts with him and it ends with him. And I like how the opening kind of like encapsulates the fact that there's a lot of supporting characters in all this, but Attack on Titan has always been Eren's story and all about what he is doing and how what he does brings all these ramifications. And I like how they bring in that full circle just with the opening. And not only that, this is the first opening where you see every single Titan. Did you notice that?
Yes, I noticed that. I mean, it's all about attention to details.
Yeah, yeah, and like, and I like how it goes back to, and like how Aaron is in front of the promotional material, as you all can see the poster. Aaron is like front and center, and how everything is going to come down to his decisions, to what he does. And the idea, especially in this episode, how Eren, how mostly you barely see Eren physically, like you see him a little bit inside, but like the idea that Eren is no longer a person, he's a force of nature. And I like that a lot because it's, it, I don't know, it got me all excited. Did I tell you I'm Team Eren? That make I don't know, that might make me sound kind of horrible, but still, I don't know. This episode was good. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. What did you like about the episode? What excited you the most about everything?
By the way, did you know how old they are around this part of the story?
I know that I think they were around 13, 14 whenever they were training, right?
Yeah,
Um, so to think about it, think about this. So I know that Reiner, I think they're between 13 and 16, something like that, right? When they were all trained to be scouts. And apparently Reiner is in his last year, right?
yeah,
So I think Titan, if you think about the idea that Titan wielders can only live 13 years, right? Which hopefully is a mystery that will be explained in detail whenever we move further in the story. So we would have to assume if Reiner is 13 to 14, he is 25 or 26 right now. So I would say Eren is, I think they're in their 20s. They should
yeah.
be in like
Sounds
their
about
early
right.
20s. That's what sounds right to me.
But
What do you think?
of uh,
You think that sounds right?
yeah, I think it sounds right. And it's it, I don't know how much you can really say about considering this is a continuation of a fight, but so to speak. But I have to say that looking back at it from the I read the manga before, reread the manga before we started our recording,
Mm-hmm.
and like I said before, the attention to details is even if they're expanding and all that, yes, feels it's something extra with Attack on
Yeah.
Titans compared to anime
Yeah.
adaptations.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's actually ridiculous, and I think it was the perfect thing. Also, the fact that they divided it the way they did, because what they wanted was us to feel everything. And I gotta say, I'm not gonna say that it feels rushed, but you can feel the intensity of the battle and all the emotions that are going through as you're watching each episode. Like whenever you watch each episode, you feel that every second counts. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You feel the intensity, it's always there. Things are hitting you from everywhere, but nothing feels rushed where you feel that they're not taking you for a ride. You know what I mean? Like sometimes some things happen so fast, you feel like the movie or the story left you behind somewhere. Here you feel that they grab you from the beginning and they carry you through. And there's a lot that happens, especially now with all the battles. Like there's little things happening, all these little clusters that are happening at the same time. But I think the direction is on point. I like the fact that I don't feel lost in any way. And that doesn't, and I'm going to be honest, I forget that I read it already because they're taking me in such a delightful ride, even though there's horrible things happening. They're taking me in this delightful ride and I'm enjoying every minute of it and I forget that I read this already. I'm reliving it like I'm watching it for the first time and I think that's what you want and they're really achieving it. I like the fact that all of the Titan sprites or the all the Titan figures have come a long way from the weird way they looked in season 2. You know what I mean? Like in season 2, I think is when they started experimenting with CG and animation combined. I like that they look a lot better and more defined now. And have you noticed that depending on the moment or the scene, they're switching to full on animation or CG hybrid. Have you noticed that?
Oh, sorry, I muted myself because something happened. But yeah, I know. And also, there is they have a specific type of animation style that I don't know exactly what's it called, but
Mm-hmm.
you know the in the intro,
Mm-hmm.
they do have the animation so that they film someone walking like that, and they made the
Yes.
animation
Yes.
through. I can't recall the animation
It's motion
of
capture.
that,
It's
but
like motion.
it's it's not called motion capture. It's sort of like motion capture.
Right, right, right. It's like when you do a video game that you have someone with all the dots, but it is I know what you mean. It's like so it
Uh,
makes it feel more realistic than
so I have to because this the fight between Reiner and Eren specifically in this current part of the season feel much more raw and energetic than the previous fights, to
yeah.
the points that I wonder if they're used as a minus the destroying the jaw part and all that jazz, but they're using something similar in the regard of the fight scenes. I mean, they make it.
I wouldn't
You
be
get what I mean?
surprised. No, no, I wouldn't be surprised. I know what you mean because it feels like the movements appear excessively fluid, more
Yeah,
so than what you expect from animation. And you know what? That would make sense. I think that's something that we need to research and find out because that would make sense. That's why it, in the beginning, a lot of the Titan animation looks jarring, but the fluidity of the motions feels like it could be that. That actually makes sense. I never thought about that. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what it is. Because well, one of the things that make me aware of the switch is because there's a lot of close-ups where you see like Reiner's Titan form, like do you see the armored Titan like against very close face to face with the attack Titan, and you kind of notice that it's more smooth standard animation. But then when you have those big movements, or even the idea like there's like towards the end of the episode or towards the second half, when Beast Titan shows up, he starts shooting everybody. Um, and as you see the limping Attack Titan walking towards Beast Titan, it has that fluid mobility that that I would say comes from motion capture. You know what I mean? Not that it's hard to do it animated, but it has this lifelike quality that comes out of the page, which I think is what you're talking about, right?
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, actually, I never thought about that, and that would be interesting if that's the case. Um, because, for example, we've seen fast-paced action, like you see a little bit of Sword Art Online, you see it in Dragon Ball Z, um, even all the stuff that you see in Demon Slayer. But you know for a fact that that is CG animation and animation. But there's something about the Titan battles and Attack on Titan in the last two seasons, more so this season, that I wouldn't be surprised with doing stuff like that. It makes sense. I never thought about it. Damn it, Isaac, you're a genius. You're a mad doctor. You Punisher Titan, you. Um, that's awesome. It's actually I never thought about that. That's a good one. That's a very good one. Um, what else? What else? What else did you like? What else made you think on the show?
I mean, what I ha- I just have to mention it because it's been all over Twitter, all over social media, and I have to ask because I could maybe I overglanced it and all when I read, but the whole face Yelena did to Armin, I downright
Oh, that
laughed
was
out
weird.
loud.
Yo, yo, that was weird. That face. And you know what? I'm glad that you mentioned that face. I'm glad
It's
that you
gonna be a
mentioned that
meme,
face.
isn't it?
Yeah, and you know what? And you know what? Something I didn't want to mention, which I think is very interesting, is the fact that, did you notice that? Have you noticed something? And I don't know why, but I kept thinking about this. Not just with the Yelena thing, but during that whole scene in the last episode, in the beginning of this episode, where all the scouts are talking and they're like coming together to decide whether or not they're going to help and protect Eren, and allow him to activate the rumbling. Which, by the way, that song for the new opening is phenomenal. It's called The Rumbling, and it's like crazy good. Um,
It's extremely metal.
yeah. Sorry. Um, so, and by the way, and the lyrics, it was covered by Jonathan Young. Isaac, thank you for showing me that. It's on YouTube, guys. I mean, when you hear the lyrics, you think Aaron is singing this song, which, by the way, is perfect. Um, but talking about the animation, that scene with Yelena with the weird face, one of the things that Attack on Titan animators have been able to do, and even and artists, and I think even more so in this season. Have you noticed how? Because you and I both know that Isayama has a very particular art style, right? It's not. And one of the things that stands out of Attack on Titan is that Isayama's art style is very unique. Like you rarely have seen human animation or drawings like Isayama does. And there's something about him using a lot of lines in the face to illustrate emotion and depth in the eyes and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about? Um,
Pretty
how
much, yeah.
and I noticed that whenever you would get a close up to all the characters where they're when they're on their cells, you can see all the line designs, all the lines, like if it were something that was stripped directly from the book. And I don't know, I find that super interesting because because think about it, when you when you do an anime, certain techniques that you would use to have depth because of lack of color or because you have to do different shades to create different ideas, you really don't have to use them when you go into animation. You know what I mean? But I think that those kind of drawings and are such a trademark of Isayama's art style that the fact that they transfer them to the show and to this and to all the character models, I think is pretty interesting, and it creates a lot of tension. I don't know. There's a lot of tension with his style, which is perfectly portrayed in what you said with the Elena. Like that face is just like horrendous. Apart from the fact that we all know that Jalende, we both know that Yelena is fucking nuts. like,
That's
like,
an understatement.
like Jelena is just fucking. She's like out of her mind and obsessed. Like I was never expecting them to put like a full on cult leader here because there's a lot of like cult mentality and 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 in conduct when it comes to Yelena and the Jaegerist. Um, but I was never expecting that. But yeah, that was a very crazy moment. And yes, it is definitely going to become a meme very, very soon. Um, yeah, it's awesome. That is awesome. Overall, I mean, this has been it's been such a solid episode. I'm really excited to see more of this. I mean, I'm also glad that we're getting 12 episodes. We're getting full blown 12 episodes, and um, I think that I think if they do it right, it's enough. It's enough to do the ending of the story, because I think if they continue the pacing, some things will happen sooner rather than later. And also, have you noticed that even though they're expanding like some of the battle scenes and stuff like that, all the key moments needed to move the story are there, and every episode has multiple of them. So they are like mashing together a lot of chapters from the book, but they're doing it in a way that's very good. Do you think 12 episodes is going to be enough?
Mm, I would maybe say 16, something along those lines.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, you could do it with
I mean, it's official. It's only going to be
maybe.
12. You know that,
Yeah, I
right?
know.
I mean, I think I wouldn't be surprised if further, there's certain episodes that they can streamline, because you and I both know there's a lot of exposition that's left to do, right? Because it's a finale. So, um, I guess we'll see. Now, I have a question for you, and I know we're not allowed to. Well, actually, I'll do it at the end, or we can do like a weird manga spoiler session probably at the end. Um,
No,
uh,
no, no, no. We take that in comparison to. We make a manga anime comparison for the last episode. I feel.
Damn it, Isaac. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm excited. Um, one of the themes of this episode that I like a lot, because when the episode is called Sneak Attack, right? So there's a big moment, of course, that designates why the episode has its name, and is whenever the Marleyan Army, or Magath, the commander of the army, creates the conditions with Pike to do a sneak attack on the Beast Titan. Um, I have a question. Is there any way that we can have a Jedi Master um, train Beast Titan? Because this guy does not have any awareness of his surroundings. this is the second.
That's
This is the
yeah.
second time that he literally becomes almost dead because he loses complete understanding of his surroundings. Like, he's horrible. Like, the first one was freaking with Levi. Like, when he thought he got everything done, suddenly he looks to the side. That's the back on season 3. All the Titans are on the floor, and Levi literally kicks his ass. And if it wasn't because of, and I find it kind of like ironic also, because who saves Zeke on season 3? It's Pike.
Yeah,
But who is the mastermind between the sneak attack and this season? It's Pike,
Pike.
right? So
Yeah,
because Beast Titan is a buffoon that doesn't pay attention to anyone around him, I mean, he literally gets his nape blown, which of course leads us to believe that he's in a very critical state. But when you think about that moment, um, one of the things that you see in a lot of the fantasy realm um, stories or stuff like that, and it made me think also about The Witcher, is the idea of the ingenuity of man and the power of the supernatural. Like that theme that um, even if there are otherworldly forces that exist, humans' ingenuity and survival instinct always finds a way to gain the upper hand. You know what I mean? like for example, I don't know how much you know about the Witcher lore, but I've seen a lot of videos, and I've seen the show, right? But the whole thing about the conjunction of the spheres is how all the different planets came, all different dimensions came together, right? And originally Earth, or whatever the planet is, was originally inhabited by elves and dwarves, and then when the conjunction of the spheres happened, that's where all the monsters and humans came. And of course, humans are a lot weaker than elves and dwarves and monsters, but they came together and created weaponry and brought all these civilizations down. Where right now, the main existing creature is humanity. You know what I mean? And you kind of see like how humanity has evolved to the point where they find a way to defeat even giants like titans. And I like how you can see that dichotomy, or that theme, or that idea in episodes like this one and throughout the season, because since the beginning of the series, it's all about humans fighting the supernatural, right? And finding a way to survive. And even now, you can still see little things to that. And I like how I don't know, you know me, I like full circle stuff. And I like how they bring this theme full circle with things like this, with the idea that humans might win because they're sneaky bastards. What do you
yeah.
think? You think humans are sneaky bastards?
I thought it was already confirmed that we are sneaky bastards.
Yes. Yes. Um, but yeah, man. I mean, I don't have much to say anymore. I mean, I know I've talked way too much, and I'm sorry. You've noticed that I haven't recorded in a while, huh?
Yeah, you always talk like this when you haven't recorded for a while. So
Yeah. Do you have anything else that you want to talk about the episode in particular? Um, an event, something that draw your attention, caught your eye, made you cry? Anything?
no, not in this particular episode at least.
Yeah. I think the last thing I would say
Oh well,
is go ahead.
Yelena's expression to Armin was a bit funny. I'm not gonna lie, but well, that's that's um well, that's about it in a quote unquote big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. And isn't it like every like she has this like Moses moment when she sees all the helicarriers fall down, because we all know that, well, not Moses, like we know that she idolizes Zeke and she
Yeah,
sees Zeke like this savior. But I
I
like
wouldn't
I
say she idolized; she worshipped Zeke.
no, right, right, right. And the whole thing that Zeke does the same thing with Eren, because just like Yelena sees Zeke as the answer, Zeke sees Eren as the answer. And um I also like how, if you notice, like even though Reiner's here, right, and Reiner is fighting Eren, right, um, you can kind of see like Reiner's heart is not in his fight. Like he is fighting the best he can, but the big difference is that Eren's will to do what he needs to do is so powerful, and you can't help but think this is the same little kid that vowed that he would kill all the Titans, right? And you can see how his will has remained intact in spite of everything that he's gone through. Um, he still has this overwhelming will that drives him, and I don't know, man. It's inspiring in spite of all the crazy and maddening things that he's done. I'm no matter what happens in the end, I'm always gonna say that Eren is one of the best characters in anime. Period. Um, and I love this show.
I love this show too. I can't wait to have them, so I can so you can find so you can so if you can finally have the full set in a physical copies, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah. I guess we will see. We will see. And I gotta keep collecting the manga. As of right now, I have like 8 volumes, so I gotta buy more. I gotta buy some more, and read them again too. So Isaac, I think that's it for us on the Attacking Titan Part Two, final season, episode 77 review. This episode was awesome. There's a lot of great stuff going on. The story is moving along. I mean, there's not a big plot points that have been discussed, but we know that the threat of the rumbling is real. I like that you have a lot of glimpses of what the rumbling could look like in the opening. But of course, there's a lot of other Easter eggs in the opening. So whenever you see the opening again, keep your eyes peeled because there's a lot of shit going on. And as the story develops, we're going to keep talking about it, and we're going to keep sharing our thoughts about the book and stuff like that. If you have any questions or any thoughts about our thoughts on Attack on Titan, please hit us in the comments below. If you have any anime recommendations for us, please let us know. We'll find the time to cover them and bring them to you. But I think that's all we got. Isaac, if people were to find you, where would they find you, my brother?
Well, you can find me over at Wobam Entertainment and Lumaniac over on Twitter, and you can find my work over at Wobam Entertainment.
And you can find me at the Scarlet Fan 52 on Twitter and on Instagram at the Scarlet Fan 52. Thank you for joining us, guys. You guys are amazing. And what is this? We just got a comment. I don't know what it means. It means something, but I don't know. I will review it later. Um, this is, you can find us on our at Amateur Otaku Pod on Twitter. That's where you can find us, at Amateur Otaku Pod on Twitter. And you can find us on our live streams on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, hit like button, click on the bells for notifications, so you do not miss any episodes on our show on YouTube. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Have it awesome, guys. Peace.
Peace.